Alright guys, welcome back to a Minecraft video, first one on this channel. And today, it's going to be a little tutorial slash spotlight. It's got a bit of spotlight for Britannia. It's in the Direwolf 20 pack, and this is running version 1.03 right now. I ran into a bit of a problem the other day, and let's see what we can do about it. I wanted to automate the living wood and Livingrock, I think it's called, from Britannia. But it's kind of difficult to do. And then I was watching Direwolf, one of his older videos, Direwolf 20, the guy that actually makes the videos with the pack, and he made it with Steve's Factory Manager, which is this crazy mod using these blocks right here. And he kind of went through it in the video, but it's a 43-minute video, and I just needed a few key pieces from it. So I sat through and built the entire thing, and I came up with this. And I'm going to make it into a smaller video just so that there's a nice little reference. So, what it does is these are block gates from Steve's Factory Manager, and this will always keep a supply of Livingrock and living wood in this chest, 64 to be exact. And this sign will tell you exactly what you need, if anything. This is my addition. He didn't have this part. So, say we take some Livingrock, right? Oh, we need 9 pieces of Livingrock. Instantly, it will place the stone all the way around and wait for that to change. Because what Livingrock does is you put stone around this pure daisy in the middle here, and it turns it into Livingrock. It's the same with living wood. So the sign is saying we need Livingrock. I can actually add this back in and it will say, hey, we're all good now. And if I take some living wood out, it says we need living wood. And once these change over, it will break them and put some living wood in. So I'm just going to, let's see, it can do 8, so we'll just do that. And we'll wait for this to break. While we're doing that, I'm just going to show you, these are some other designs. This one has them in the bottom. The only problem is you need to put stone bricks because these block gates will actually place it too high, and the pure daisy won't affect these ones up here. So it's not too bad. You could change it to look like this, and this you won't need any blocks because there's already blocks there. Oh, there it's changing. Some of them are changing, see? And instantly being replaced with the wood, and the wood is changing, and craziness, and sometimes it gets a little weird with the updating. But yeah, now we have more Livingrock in there. But yes, this one is kind of bulky and stuff. There is cable camouflage, and I was trying to figure it out here, but for some reason it's not working in the current version. Like, you can actually, this, oh, I probably need to add another layer on top, but you can camouflage that and make that invisible, so you could do it that way. This way is much cheaper and just as hidden. You just have this on top, and you can change that to whatever you want. You could be diamond blocks if you really wanted to be fancy, but whatever. So I'm going to show you how to build this as quick as possible. Alright, you ready for it? So first, you're going to need machine inventory manager, you're going to need some inventory cable, you're going to need block gates, you're going to need, well, you may need a sign updater. The signs part is optional. You'll need some stone bricks because we're going to be building this one. And look, it's transforming. Ooh, fancy. And then there's nothing there waiting for anything else to happen. So I'm going to be building this version here, and you will need stone bricks or some block of your type for that one. The pure daisy you'll need a chest, and the optional sign for the sign updater. So let's head over here. You need to dig a 2 deep hole in this fashion and place the inventory cables just like so, with another one there. We'll place, this is where your pure daisy is going to go. We will place the machine inventory manager right there, and we will do the block gates facing up with all the yellow on top. If you click these on, say, this side, it will change that little square to there. You need that on the top as well. So just right click. Do you have to use anything special? No. Just right click with the hand and you can switch it. So we can use grass to cover that up. And now into the actual difficult part. This. So first what I'm going to do is just pull an input and just check to see that I've got all the block gates. And I've actually forgotten something. You have to put a chest beside it. And we can put the sign updater also facing up with the sign on top of it. There. And let's put the stone bricks around the top while we're finishing up here. Okay, so now we're actually going to get to the difficult part. So let's just check this quick. Inventories, we've got the chest and we've got 8 block gates. So that means it's found everything, and we will just check the sign. Just click and drag on this corner and put it on the drop command there. To delete it, we have the sign updater. So what we're going to do first is create a trigger. This trigger can be an interval of 1 second. That's fine for this thing. You can do block update detector if you want to get a little more fancy, but the way I have it set it up is just an interval of 1 second. And you can put that to 5 if you want, whatever. Then we need a for each loop, which is the one down here. We're going to grab one of those, set it right there. For the for each loop, it goes through a list of elements, or a list of items in the one variable, and it stores what one it's currently on in the element in the orange variable. So we need to create 2 variables, which is this down here. So we'll click that twice. You can set these way over here because they don't need to connect to anything. The first one is going to be our white variable, and we're going to go to containers and we're going to select the block gates. 5, 6, 7, and how do we get to the next one? Whoa, come back. Actually, I'm just going to select all and deselect those. Fancy work like that. And that's the white variable. Now we want the orange variable. Just set this one to orange, and we're good. So we have our 2 variables. So the for each will work. Don't connect the trigger up to the for each yet, because that will just cause random problems. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just create a sign updater. And we're going to set this right there. Just like that. In the signs, this part, again, one last time, is completely optional. You don't have to put signs in. We're going to set this to be checking on that line, and this line is going to say inventory ... Alright, so that every time this loops, it will say checking inventory. Even though it doesn't last for very long, it's a good, I use this originally for debugging because I wanted to see just where it was in the program. So now we need to create an input. We're going to put the input up here, run this output to this input. The input is going to input from the current variable. If we have to select up on this variable because that's a block gate and it has to get from above it. If you're doing a different like if you're doing that one there, you have to put that to, you have to set that to down. Just remember that. And we're going to look for living in here. We want Livingrock and living wood. So what this is going to do is every loop at the beginning, if there is Livingrock or living wood, just break it. And then we're going to create an output, put that right underneath, and we're just going to output to the chest. The chest, it doesn't matter what side you use, because chest can accept from any side, and blacklist everything, or blacklist nothing. So that means it will put whatever it grabs into the chest. Now we're going to grab a condition, we're going to put a condition right underneath here, and the condition is going to be in the chest. We're going to check for Livingrock first. In any side of the chest, is there Livingrock? And if you right click on there, you can get into this other screen of more precise information. We want to click specify amount, and you can set this to whatever you want. I set it to 64, so there's always a stack there. So this is going to say we're going to connect the input to there. If this is true, then we're going to split off and check for living wood. But if it's false, we're going to create a sign and put this sign down over here. And this sign is going to say, once we select where it goes, it's going to say need Livingrock. And then we are going to create a group node, because no, we're not going to create a group node, we're going to create a command group, because there's quite a few more commands in here, and this just makes it look a lot neater. We can name this one just by clicking that text thing there. We're going to name it Livingrock and click this to save it, just so we know what we're working with. So you click, I probably should show that. You click the content, and then you click in this box here to go into that node, and then there's a little close group button to leave it if you feel scared in here or anything like that. What we're going to do is we're going to put a node, a group node, down at the top here. We're going to create a condition, set this underneath here, and we're going to check just quick on the current variable, the upside, to see whether we're going to click if any. This is just a fail-safe kind of thing, just making sure that there's nothing above it. So we're going to do Livingrock, living wood, because we don't want it trying to place if there's something there. And for the stone, there's some reason he changed the way stone works, so set this one from precise detection to match all, and it should work better. There, we'll line that condition up. And then this is also not necessary, but it's just, I don't believe it's necessary, at least it might be. It's just in case I want to continue this on after. We're going to create, come on, be a straight line. I like straight lines. Alright, whatever. That doesn't want to work. This is just an exit. There we go. This is just an exit from this command group here, and I will just explain that more in a minute once we get back out into the main screen. So, if it's true, we want to leave. If there's something there, we want to leave. If it's false, we don't want to leave. We want to create an input. We'll set this under here. We want input from the chest, any side of the chest. We want to put one stone, specify amount 1, into the buffer, getting ready for them to do something with it. And then the output, we want to output it to the current variable. Upside of that, anything, because we will only have one stone if this gets triggered. And then we can create another group node and exit that. So this is our, if we need living wood, or living stone, or living rock, sorry, this set is going to run. So we can connect that to the sign, and if you see there, now we have 2 exits. Man, this thing's being funny now. I was getting all these to work earlier. It's very precise. Whatever, doesn't really matter. So we have 2 exits now. So one is if it's true, one is if it's false, because there's 2 exits. So I could expand on that. I'm not sure how right now, but I just left the option open. So now what happens if it's true and we do have, if this one is true, so if we do have 64 living rock in the chest, we will create another condition and set this one down over here. And if this is true, it will come over to this condition, and this condition is basically going to be the same thing. The north side of the chest, we're going to see, is there any living wood? And we're going to specify amount, is there 64 living wood? To be a little more precise in there. And then, if this is true, we're going to create a sign that goes over here that is on the sign updater, and this is going to say all good. Because if this is true, then we have both the 64 of living rock and 64 of living wood, so we are good to go. If it isn't true, then we're going to create a sign down here that says, that's on that sign updater, and this one is going to say need living wood, and we'll connect that up, and then we'll create another command group. We'll put that one down here. We'll rename this one living wood and save that, and then we'll head in there. Same as before, create a group node. We'll create, what do we need on this one? We need a conditional, right, to check on the current variable up if there's anything there. Living rock, living wood. We need oak wood. This search menu is kind of slow sometimes. And then we need stone, and we're gonna do the match all on the stone and set that to if any. Same as before, the lines won't line up. I'll show you the other one after everything is completely lined up. It looks pretty awesome. Spent some good time on it. And we will set these to, that's just gonna leave if it's true, same as before. And then we create an input, and we will grab from the chest on the south side this time, just to mess with you. Grab oak wood, 1 oak wood, and then we'll connect that up, and we will create an output, and we will output this to the chest, or not to the chest, whoops, to the current variable on the upside, anything, and then we will create a group node, connect those up, somewhat line them up, create an output node, and then we'll do that. And if we go back, all we should have to do is close this up and connect these, and that should work. So I'm gonna grab in, go into this mode quick, set all these up here. We'll grab 2 stacks of those, 2 stacks of those, put them in the chest, and we will connect the trigger. So it's saying we need living rock. And so let's simulate like we got a bunch of living rock. Put that in there. Now we need living wood. So we'll just break these just to test. And it looks like the living wood is working. The last thing we're going to do here is I'm going to put living wood in the chest. This should say all good. Perfect. And then let's see, is this going to break? Yeah, quick before, while that's breaking, I just want to show you, look at all the lines on this one. other than this. Oops. So I'm gonna take the screenshots right now of this. We'll do one of Livingrock, and we will do one of Living Wood, and just as a quick reminder, like it's just so you can check back on that, I will link them in the description. And looks perfect, broke and everything. So that's gonna be it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video on automatic Living Wood, Livingrock, automatic Britannia. My name's Desert, and I will see you again next time. Bye bye.